Sande Charles with FanRag Sports, joined by Dodgers reporter David Vassegh. Going to talk a little Dodgers. There's a lot of rumors out there. Let's clear it up. But first, easy question. Third baseman, opening day, who is it?
I still believe it's Justin Turner. He wants to be back. The Dodgers want him back. It's just a matter of letting him vet the free agency process because this is the first time he's had this opportunity in his career. So the Dodgers are respecting that, but I think at the end of the day, both sides will come to an agreement. From what I understand, he wants equal or more to what Daniel Murphy got last year with the Nationals, which was 3 years and $37 million. So hopefully there's a middle ground or the Dodgers can meet it because he is from Los Angeles. He's done such a great job of really being part of the community, not just doing things on the field, but he really does a lot of charitable things in the community. So he's good for Los Angeles and good for their brand.
And what's he like in the clubhouse? Is he a clubhouse guy? Does he keep them all together?
Yeah, you know what? After A.J. Ellis got traded, Sandy, he actually said the guy that he's passing the baton to is Justin Turner. So if they lost him, they would be losing more than just a guy that was a Gold Glove finalist at third base, a guy that hit 28 home runs and drove in 90 runs. They would be losing a really big presence that is part of what kept that team together when they were struggling in the early parts.
Let's talk a little pitching. Rich Hill, they just signed. He's 37 years old. Do you think the Dodgers had any hesitation just because 3 years, 37 years old?
Yeah, well, I don't think they felt comfortable giving him 3 years and $48 million. But as Andrew Friedman said, if you're going to be rational, you're going to finish third in the market for players that you want back. And they really needed him back because they didn't have a reliable veteran behind Clayton Kershaw going into the season. So, yes, he may not make 30 starts, but when he's out there for those 20, you're going to get a competitor and you're going to get one of the best pitchers the last year and a half.
No, there's a lot. There's a plethora of starting pitching that the Dodgers have. But come spring training, who do you really think is there?
Well, I think Julio Urias emerged as a guy that'll probably be the number 3. You got Kershaw, you got Rich Hill. I still believe the Dodgers will move Scott Kazmir if they're able to, but they'll have to eat a lot of that money. And I still think there's still a chance for them to add more to their rotation, maybe from the right side, because they do have so many lefties. So it's hard to say right now, but I think the 4 that you can count on are Kershaw, Rich Hill, Julio Urias, and Kenta Maeda.
Now let's talk a little the outfield. Seems to be a little clogged, a little cluttered. Any movement, any rumors around there?
It seems clogged at the beginning of every year, but by the end of the year, they're looking for guys that can be productive. And I think you're going to get Andre Ethier back for a full year. He's a guy that can play against every righty out there and be a valuable guy off the bench. Andrew Tolles, who was out of baseball last year, 2 years ago, came back and was kind of a lightning rod for them the second half of the season. So they have him. They traded Howie Kendrick, so they kind of opened up some space there. Jock, Puig. So they do have guys that are coming back, but it's going to be interesting to see how the chairs shuffle and how Dave Roberts maneuvers.
You mentioned Yasiel Puig. Do you think that they will rekindle? There were trade rumors, Ryan Braun, Yasiel Puig. Do you think they'll rekindle, or is it just time for him to find another home?
Well, I think it makes sense that they would try to trade him during the offseason because they tried to do it during the season last year. But from what I've been told, they're not going to just sell him off for 5 cents on the dollar. They still feel that because of how much he makes and the impact he can have on any given game, he's still a valuable piece. So they're not just going to give him away. If they don't get the right package, they're content in keeping him.
Has he grown up at all a little more? Is he a little different in the clubhouse now?
He's a fun guy. He's not as bad as people say.
Okay.
He's a fun guy. He's a different guy. He's a very joyous guy. And sometimes that doesn't conform to the very serious baseball guys and the old tradition. And I think sometimes that gets lost in translation. But I think he's understanding that he has to be there for the hitters' meetings. He's got to take that seriously, the stretch times, all those things. He has to be a little bit more professional if he wants to stick with not only the Dodgers, but any major league team.
Now, there were rumors that Uribe really held him kind of in check and, took him under his wing, losing that. Is that true, or were those rumors true?
They had a good relationship. I wouldn't say that he was kind of a role model for him. They just had a really good, fun relationship. I wouldn't say that Juan Uribe kept him in check or kept him in line. I think the group does that. I just thought that was a little bit overblown. And Adrian Gonzalez actually has been a guy that has really tried to mentor him and try to show him the way to really be a better professional.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Good role model to look up to. For David Vassegh, Sande Charles with FanRag Sports.